right, we got a game going, and still working on getting the colors just right. Seems like when I'm wearing white and when I'm wearing black, it messes things up every single time. I think I'm just going to stick with dark colors at a certain point when I'm playing online to keep life easier. So I seem like I have to adjust it and fiddle with it every single time. As we're getting a pretty standard English position. And let's do this. If A5, knight E1, knight C2. And it's looking for D5, but the problem is with the bishop there, he can't really play it. So that helps us with the process. That's why I've always liked that bishop G5 and then the stutter step. And how about we drop that guy in there, which looks terrible after knight F5. Well, no, you can take the free piece. Yeah. We both looked at the same thing. And now it is GG. And 2300s do this. We'll give him a break. We'll play him a second game. And how about this time we'll mix it up and play a Caro Kann. We'll go with this super solid variation that has grown in popularity at a rate that is astounding. And just go ahead and throw in H5. I think that's a bad move because of bishop F4. You don't want to allow them to trade that. So if bishop F4, and if I push, which seems interesting. Maybe not. Maybe not. That was frickin' terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I lost a pawn for absolutely no reason, and it shouldn't happen when your opponent plays simple chess stuff. So, a bit frustrated, so we're going to make something out of nothing here. Don't need to lose any more things for free. That is not suggested or recommended. And let's do this because we need to watch this knight coming in. And I don't want to have to worry about this pawn forever. It's cramping my style. And if the queen moves, I do have some ideas of playing H3. Okay, I feel satisfied with how that worked out. We don't have to worry about that guy so much anymore. Looking for something like F4 so I can play F5. That makes a lot of sense. So let's go F6 to keep his knight out of here. Get some flexibility with the monarch. And I don't want to trade off both rooks because it's any potential chance to outplay my opponent. You're hoping for something silly over here. Yeah. All right, we'll get you to go away. Little baby improvements. That's all we can ask for. It's the little things. Now we want our bishop to agree with our pawns. All right, you want to come in there? I'm okay. Yeah, I know. I got ideas in squares too. We'll see how it works. Not a fan of that. Yeah, this worked out okay. Ooh. Careful, no stalemates. Okay. So that actually worked out. We gave pawn odds in the opening there. I guess we're not analyzing the first one since he just dropped a piece. Alright, so how did I just royally screw up this position? Because castles is right, rook e8 is right, and h5, I think it's only necessary when they're showing intent on the other side of the board. Yeah, h5 is just stupid. I don't know why I did that. h5 is in a lot of these lines, but yeah, I cost myself, because now I just need to give up the bishop pair, and I was in denial. So I just decided to lose on the spot here, like +8. And yeah, I had to do something because this is just busted. All right, so let's see how I was able to take essentially down a bad night and turn it into a win. You got to know how to maintain tension and give your opponent some options to go wrong. f5 seemed a little bit too presumptuous. All right, keeping tension not to trade. Queen d7 is, I don't want to have to worry about my h-pawn. And I think around here is where it's actually instructive, because f6, it's got the same evaluation that white's better across all the variations, except f6 limits white's play, limits the forward squares of the knight, gives me time, and now rook e2 is telegraphing rook fe1, and if my bishop moves, he's trading off all the rooks. His life gets so much easier in every endgame because he's a pawn up if I continue to just allow trades. So I need to play bishop f8, which was first choice. We get a trade-off, and then king f7. I have made sure that the rook is blunted. It can't come in to harass any sort of squares. And g5, first kicking away, bishop d6, improving the b. b5, it is agreeing with the bishop, and then in the long term, you saw I had the ideas to be able to keep pushing the pawn until it does something. Now, for instance, if a move like a3 is played, this now has cemented pawns on the same color as my remaining bishop, and it's going to give me excellent opportunities to attack pawns after knight b6. So you're looking to provoke these moves. Now, can't allow the bishop to drop, but notice how the bishop is controlling the forward squares. I really like this next move by my opponent, f4, as it sets a weakness and pressures the pawn structure. The engine likes pawn takes, but I didn't like the idea of getting his bishop more effective, and I felt like it would give him more opportunity to go wrong with this line, and I have the idea to jettison the pawn with g4 at some point. So rook f2, king e6, and I mean, we're playing provocatively, but it's a fast game. I'm down, I'm losing anyway, so my mindset is, all right, let's go for it all. Bishop d6, c5, and again, provocative moves. Rook d2 would have won on the spot because I can't exactly take, and I just have pieces lined up. I'll be honest, I completely missed that. So better is just c takes d4. And I was seeing this type of position as, I know I'm worse, but I do have a tiny amount of compensation in the fact that my king is more active than my opponents in the endgame. And after this, I'm starting to get excellent play, and clock becomes a factor. So I get in my g4 move that I really wanted, and now that key move breaks up the structure, creating a weakness, and now it's as if there's not an extra pawn because they're doubled rook pawns, which aren't useful in many of these endings. And now it is, I'm trying not to flag because I see my opponent hurrying up, and I have, by this point, outplayed the opponent from lower time in a worse position. Now it's completely winning with the outside pass pawn. It forces things nicely. So now the main thing is, let's play a game of don't flag and don't stalemate your opponent, and with 0.2 seconds we're able to flag. So kind of an interesting one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and maybe someday I'll be able to fix this whole situation permanently, but it's been a struggle for me lately to get this whole thing to work. Hopefully the focus is on the chess and not on my video skills.